to Jerry's comment?
No, because what did I do, Skip? I told you. This is how it's going to happen. I love it, Skip Bayless.
I love how you revise history on a daily basis on this show. Go ahead.
I said I believe Jerry was joking, but that's not how Zeke's going to take it. Because you have to understand, Skip, we're in a contract negotiation. And I understand this is why you always wanted to have an agent. Because you know they're going to tell you how bad you are and why you shouldn't get the money. And you don't need to hear that because you don't want personal feelings. Where Jerry's like, Zeke, who? It marginalizes him, Skip, and he was very disappointed. Let me give you a little information, Skip. There have been 3 guys, and, you know, the NFL is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year. There have been 3 guys that have led the league in rush yards per game in the first 3 seasons. Let me see if you know any of these guys. Jim Brown, Earl Campbell, and Ezekiel Elliott. This is why he wants to reset the market, because he's saying, Jerry, I'm just not your garden, your basic variety running back. I've done things that only 2 other men before me has ever done. Therefore, I need to be compensated as such. And I know there are a lot of Cowboy fans out there that say, well, Zeke signed the contract, he has 2 more years.
That is true.
Well, Dez Bryant had 2 more years on his contract, and Jerry didn't let him fulfill his obligation. So Zeke should be under no obligation to fulfill his. He's outperformed the contract because the reason, I can assure you, what they wrote in Dez when they released him, he's, what they use, he's no longer, I forget the terminology.
From Stephen Jones,
Yes. Skip. You know Zeke deserves his money. But what I don't understand, because let me tell you what I believe happened, Skip. I believe Jerry and Rocky Arsenault, who's Zeke's agent, I believe that's like, look, we're going to try to get this thing done, but we're going to try to do it behind the scenes. We're not going to be doing any talking. Hopefully you guys don't do any talking. But Stephen and Jerry Jones have been talking the whole while because I know what they're trying to do. Having played this game long enough, they're trying to sow seeds of poison. They're trying to convince the Cowboy fans Zeke is being selfish. He's being unreasonable. He doesn't care about winning. All he cares about is self. And Zeke says, it's not my job to worry about the other 46 or the other 45. That's your job. I outperformed this contract, and I deserve a raise. I deserve to be the highest paid running back. You keep saying we're not going to reset the market. Zeke says, I've done that. Nobody. You look at LaDainian Thomas, you look at Adrian Peters, you look at all the guys. The great Eric Dickerson led the league in rushing his first 2 years, but his 3rd year he didn't lead in yards per game. So Zeke says, I'm well within my rights to ask for a raise, and I'm going to get it. 1 or 2 things happen, Skip Bayless. They get off to a great start, and Zeke folds and comes in and take what they're offering, or they get off to a horrendous start, and Jerry Jones folds and gives Zeke what he has.
So you are predicting flat out that Zeke will miss real games.
Absolutely. Unless he gets him money. Pay the man. Pay him his money.
Are you predicting he's going to miss games or not? I want it on the record right here, right now.
Jerry Jones will cave and pay Zeke what he owes.
Oh, okay. So I also want to get you on record. Are you saying that the Zeke who comment hurt these negotiations?
No.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, Skip Bayless, if I get what I want, I don't care what you say. You ain't talking about my mama, so I don't care. Give me my money, though.
All right. 2 quick points of order. I told you yesterday that Zeke would be all ears about these comments, that he's not out of touch down in Cabo. He's listening intently. He's watching closely every move that is being made by Jerry Jones and every play that is being run on the football field, even during the preseason. Zeke is aware. Jerry knows Zeke is listening. That's why Jerry said what he said. Look, I have told you before, Jerry Jones, as a football man, as the GM of this team, I don't always love. But when it comes to negotiations, I believe in Jerry because I believe he's the best in the business at wheeling and dealing, at handling contractual holdouts, at playing the game of blink. And this is the ultimate game of blink that he's playing with Ezekiel Elliott, who is right now overmatched because he's up against the master. Jerry is in complete control of this negotiation, and Jerry will win this negotiation because I will bet you that Jerry will get Zeke in fold for game one more at Jerry's price than at Zeke's price.
Well,
Just watch.
Why if Tony Pollard is everything that Jerry thinks he is?
Oh, now he's Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
Yesterday he was Mike Pollard.
Yeah.
I don't know who Mike Pollard is, but that's okay. I'm going to call him Mike just because you called him Mike.
If Tony Pollard is everything that Jerry says he is after one game and what he believes he can be, why don't you just move on? Do you imagine the money you could save? And now you can go give Dak his money. And now you got money for Amari. You don't need, because Jerry said you don't need a league-leading rusher to win the Super Bowl. Although in all three of his, what did he have, Skip? The league's leading rusher. But you don't need it.
Unfortunately, in 1992, the Dallas Cowboys had won the Super Bowl, so that put Emmitt Smith in a whole different realm than Zeke is in right now. The last time I saw Zeke, he went nowhere fast against the Rams, right? So he's coming off a big, as you said, a big L, in which 19 of his 20 carries averaged 1.7 yards per attempt.
Did you notice what you did? Skip, why did you do that? Now, see, I noticed what you did here. You see what you did? Now, when you won in Seattle, you talked about how great. You didn't talk about Zeke's 121 rushing. But when they lost the game,
quarterback took the game over. The play of the game was made by the quarterback with his legs as opposed to the running back with his legs.
So why did he make the play of the game against the Rams?
He made up my quarterback?
Yeah, why did
you see his QBR in that game?
I saw the L.
He just dwarfed
90
Jared Goff's QBR.
L on the scoreboard. Which one you want?
I'll take the QBR because if he'd had a little bit of help from his running back, maybe we'd be having a different conversation.
You ought to stop.
And if his defense had stopped Jared Goff from running for 19 yards on 3rd and 9, maybe we'd be having a different conversation. And if Jenny Taft hadn't gone to the game, maybe we'd be having a different conversation. We know that.
So now Jenny get blamed. But Skip, why do you, Skip?
Okay.
Why do you blame everybody else?
I don't blame it.
Yes, you did. You blamed the defense. You blamed Zeke.
It's okay. It's okay. My defense was shockingly horrendous. After it shut down the #1 rushing attack in all of pro football in Seattle, just shut them down. They barely got 100 yards rushing.
And then what?
They got run off the field at the Coliseum.
Skip.
What?
That's why it's called a team.
No.
Because sometimes when I struggle on one side of the ball, I need the other side to uplift and to play above themselves. Okay. Your quarterback can't do that.
So here's the point. When Jerry said Zeke, he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew he would then create a media shockwave that would echo for days. We're still talking about Zeke, right?
No,
it'll go down in cowboy lore as, remember when Jerry said Zeke who?
Skip, if you watch the tape closely, Clarence Hill was the one to ask him the question.
True.
And he said Zeke who? And Jerry put his finger up and said, don't print that. Clarence said, they got it on tape. Play the tape back. Jerry knew he had stepped in it. Jerry knew he had stepped in it.
Jerry knew he had stepped in it for a reason because he knew Zeke would listen, and he knew that Zeke needed his fire lit. He needs to bring some urgency to this negotiation because he planted a little seed of doubt in the back of Zeke's mind because Tony Pollard was legit. And I know you...
Off one drive.
Okay, Mike Pollard, Tony Pollard.
You know the man there, Skip Bayless. Stop playing.
Tony Pollard is legit. I know off not only one drive, but off all of camp. All they have talked about, all the coaches have said, legit. The quarterback has said he is legit. And yet, in the big picture, I told you, he's not Ezekiel Elliott, but you could win a couple of games with him. So now Zeke and Rocky are sitting back in Cabo. I assume Rocky's in Cabo, too.
Over there.
And you know, it gets lonely in Cabo because you have a lot of time to think because there's not that much going on down there.
No.
You know,
what Zeke's thinking about? How much money I'm going to get? We're in the money. All about the Benjamins, baby.
We're in the 4th week in Cabo. That's what we're in, the 4th week. It's a long time to just stay. You know, like 4 days in Cabo is fun, man. But after 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18, and you're starting to mark off the days on the calendar. And Jerry knows the psyche of Zeke is a football psyche. He loves to be with the fellas in the locker room. This kid was born to play football. Emmitt Smith, not so much. Didn't love practicing, didn't really love playing football, didn't love, as he called it, the car wreck that I experience every Sunday running the football. That's what he called it.
And in practice back in those days.
Zeke doesn't talk about car wrecks. He just loves the contact. He looks for contact. Emmett ran away. Zeke runs 2 contact. Okay, so the psyches are different. So all of a sudden, he lit Zeke's fire, where they're going to be thinking, gee, should we...
You know what? You know what, Skip? He lit Ezekiel Elliott's fire so much that Zeke came back to Dallas, got a haircut, a change of clothes, and he's back in Cabo. That's how much fire he lit up under.
That was already planned. That was already planned.
Okay, then why did he stay?
Okay, so then what is going on here? Do you think Jerry Jones is losing any sleep about Rocky Arsenault saying, we didn't think it was funny. In fact, we found it disrespectful. Do you think Jerry's lost 1 second of sleep over that?
You think Zeke's coming back any sooner? Because I'm worried. Tony Pollard's going to take my job. I better help him get to camp.
I think he's starting to think about not taking his job. But again, the ultimate game being played here is, could the Cowboys win 2 games without Ezekiel?
No. That's not the game. That's not the game. The question is, that's not the question. That's bull jive. That's a generalization. The question is,
well, then I'm bull jiving.
Yeah, you bull jiving. You shucking the Skip. The question is, can they win the Super Bowl with Tony or Mike Pollard? That's the question.
Mike Pollard's pretty good. And you know what? Zeke ain't holding out the whole game. And by the way, the reason Jerry's not losing any sleep is because he's thinking, I wonder if Zeke would stay down in Cabo for 5 years, because I got him for 5. Hey. If I want to really just put the stranglehold on this, what could he do? 2 contractual years and 3 tag years.
Let me ask you a question.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.